Welcome to my ranking video for all the Friday the 13th movies. This is a really special franchise for me. Recently I did a video where I ranked my top 40 movie franchises. This came fourth. That just goes to show you how important this series is to me. I'm really looking forward to doing this video and ranking all the films. So let's get into it. We've got 12 to get through, and coming in bottom, Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood. The first time I watched this with some mates when I was a teen, I quite enjoyed it that particular night, but every time I've seen it since, I find it really lackluster. The characters in this film are terrible. I mean, they are non-existent. Even the final girl, I don't like her at all. The doctor, the creepy guy who's sort of pestering Tina all the time, can't stand him. The mother just does nothing for me. The dad coming out of the water, terrible. The kills are all watered down. Although even if you'd put the kills back into this film in the way that they were meant to be shown, I still don't think that would make this a good film. I'm not really big on the whole Carrie psychic abilities thing. I mean, some people say that final fight is great, but I'm kind of medium on it. You know, there's times when she's just about to make something happen. You can see her sort of getting ready with her eyes, and there's this awkward pause where Jason just conveniently stands still so what is about to happen to him can happen, and it's not great for me. It's not one of my favourite films at all. Very easy pick for me to come bottom. I didn't even have to think about it. It was like, right, do my list, Part 7, straight to the bottom. Next was a bit harder. I think 9th, 10th and 11th on this list, I was going back and forth. I just couldn't make my mind up. But ultimately, the film which came 11th was the Friday the 13th reboot. I loved the first 20 minutes of this. After that, it's not so good. I just don't like any of the characters who spend their time in the house. So Trent and all his buddies, some of the girls as well. Not a great selection of characters. I like the final confrontation with that little wood chipper thing. That's okay. But on the whole, I think this is just a really black sheep sort of film in the franchise. If they'd have gone on to make sequels to this, and this had been a whole series that we'd been spending time with over the past decade, maybe I'd look at it differently, but it's in such a weird spot, all on its own, 2009. And what would be even weirder if eventually, when we get a new film, we will eventually, and if that turns into a series, then this film will look even more of a black sheep, just stuck in no man's land on its own. It's kind of odd. I don't like the whole kidnapping thing where Jason takes people to that little warren. Just no, not for me at all. A good couple of leads though. I did like Jared Padalecki. I like him from Supernatural, and Danielle Panabaker. A bit hazy on the names, but I enjoyed watching her in The Flash as well. So yeah, some good actors, but no, not one of my favourites. Right, coming in at number 10, Freddy vs. Jason. Now, I've spent the majority of my life watching this only being a fan of Jason. I've not really had anything to do with Freddy, so I think that's why I don't love this film. I think the people who really love this one will be people who watch both franchises. Now, it just so happens at the moment that I'm going through the Nightmare on Elm Street films and reviewing for the first ever time. I've just reached Dream Warriors. I'm doing my review for that later this week, hopefully. So the next time I watch Freddy vs. Jason, I might be in the position where I've now watched both franchises and hopefully will love both characters, not just one of them. So this film has the potential to rise up my rankings if I were to do it again a year or two from now. Coming at number 9, we have Friday the 13th, Part 5, The New Beginning. Now, I like the fact that we have this new killer, Roy Burns. It works for me that they decided to do that. It makes total sense that somebody would put the mask on and try and pass off their killings as Jason's. Where the film falls down is that there's just too many deaths. I think there's like 24, 25. I mean, a lot of the time it feels like we're just killing characters we've only met in that particular scene. So I think if they'd have cut half the deaths out and spent more time developing the main characters, I think it could have been a better movie. I like the location of it, the halfway house. In the video game, the halfway house was brilliant. But yeah, I think it makes me a little bit sad when I watch this, because even though it's still good, it could have been even better. So there we go. Right, coming in next at number 8, we have Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday. I see this film get a lot of hate on the various Facebook groups I'm a member of. People put it bottom and they say they hate it and all this stuff. it was one of the first ones I saw, and when I did watch it, I was a little bit disappointed that it wasn't a movie where Jason would just be in the mask all the time. But subsequent years, I can just enjoy it for what it is. It's part 9 of a series. If it was part 2 or 3, it would probably piss me off. But coming at this point, part 9, I can do something different, sure. And Jason, no matter what body he's in, he feels completely relentless in this film, just barging into police stations and diners. He's even more kind of, he's more attacking in this film than he would in a normal Friday the 13th film. So I really enjoy it. Some of the lore is a bit hokey, you know, all the stuff about rebirths, and honestly, it just confuses me just to think about it. But I like the movie. At number 7, we have Jason 10. This is a wildly entertaining film for me. It really is. The only thing I don't like is sometimes I watch it and wish that there'd been more, you know, more suspense to it, more time spent with characters just creeping through shadows like Ripley and Alien sort of thing. And because it always feels like you know where Jason is in this film. He's right in your face the whole time. Everywhere's all brightly lit. There's so much noise. It could have done with more suspense, I think. But the film that we do get is still a lot of fun to watch. Having said all that, I always have a good time watching it. I've always got a smile on my face, and I've got a lot of time for this film. I've seen it a lot of times, and I always look forward to watching it. I'm never bored watching this, never. Right, we're going into the top half now of the films in the list. So there were 12 to begin with. We're now going on to number 6. So Friday the 13th, part 3. I think this was the last one I ever saw to sort of complete the set for me. So going into this, I knew that this was the only one left that I'd not seen. I'm going back to the days before the reboot. So probably the reboot was actually the last one I saw overall. But yeah, this is good. I've got very little bad to say about this film. I don't think many people would have much to say that's bad. This is my favourite Jason, by the way, out of all. I just think he's creepy as hell and very strong. And it's cool that we get to see him get the mask in this one. I even like Shelley. I think he's pretty cool. And yeah, it's just a good film. Good, solid Friday the 13th film, start to finish. Coming in at 5, now this isn't going to be a popular opinion. Friday the 13th, part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, 5th out of 12. Let me just say that again. I think Friday the 13th, part 8 is the 5th best Friday the 13th movie. Shoot me down if you don't agree. But one of the reasons why I think this is so good is because when I first saw it, I was 13 years old. It scared me to death. I watched it on my own very late at night. And yeah, I was like this behind my duvet sheet. It was just an incredible experience, and I've never been able to get past that. No matter how many times I watch it, yeah, I do spot its faults, but the things that piss most people off, like, you know, the fact that it doesn't get to New York doesn't bother me. The fact that there's a magical canal doesn't bother me. It's just one of them weird things. I just love this film. I really enjoy it. Every time I put it on, it's usually like once a year or once every couple of years, and I hear that song coming on, "There's no way you can fight." I'm like, yes, I'm right back into one of my favourite slasher films. Yeah, I'm an oddball, definitely. I'm definitely in the minority on this one, but yeah, Jason Takes Manhattan, one of my favourite experiences from my horror watching youth, and this is absolutely the right spot on the list for me. Probably not for everybody, but for me it is. Right, coming in at number 4 is the original Friday the 13th. This film just gets better and better for me every time I watch it. When I first watched it, I was sort of in a phase where I was looking at what Friday the 13th films I still hadn't seen, and this was one of the last few. And that original viewing, it was kind of like, well, it's not much is happening. It's a bit, okay, at least we're getting through it. But over the years, every time I watch it, it just seems to rise up the list more and more. And I think playing the video game helped a lot with my appreciation of this, because when I was playing the video game on PS4, I kept seeing things on the maps. Oh, that's from the original Friday the 13th. Oh, that's from the cabins. Oh, that's the archery board or whatever. So yeah, playing the game helped, but there's just so many cool little details about this film that I notice for the first time every time I watch it. And yeah, it's great. Absolutely love the original Friday the 13th. Coming into the top 3, and there's not much separating these last few films now. Fractions separate the last few. Friday the 13th, part 2. I had this film at the top of my rankings when I did it at some point when I was just going through it in my head like a year or two ago. It's down at number 3 now, but it's still one of the great Friday films. Got a great final girl. I like Sackhead Jason. Got great atmosphere. The whole film feels really fresh at this point. And yeah, there's not much I can say that criticises it. I love the campfire scene. I even like the fact that the ending's a bit kind of mysterious and all over the place. It works for me. Coming in at number 2, Friday the 13th, Part 6. One of the first ones I saw, and another, like with Jason Takes Manhattan, I saw this when I was a teenager. It blew me away. I love the song at the end. And Jason is just utterly relentless in this film. Just scared the hell out of me when I was a teen. And every time I watch it now, I really enjoy it. Humour lands, it's not too much. It's still a horror film first and humour second, you know. Great characters. And yeah, just one of my favourite Friday the 13th films of all time. But at number 1, and I think this is an opinion that's quite popular on the whole, because I see a lot of people put this top, and I'm one of them, it is Part 4. In my opinion, the best of all. I think Jason is just one pissed off guy in this film. It's like he's so annoyed from 2 and 3 that in this one, he's not fucking about in this one. He's just going for everybody as soon as he can, no messing. It's a brutal film. Good story, good characters, some of the best characters in the franchise. I like how you got those 2 houses facing each other, and there's all the subplots with, you know, Tommy and the masks, and then the guy who's coming back to avenge his sister. It's just a brilliant film from start to finish. And if this franchise had finished with this movie, wow, that would have been a hell of a way to end it. I'm glad that it went on, but yeah, this is the highlight of the series for me. Really, really good. Right, there it is. My top 12 Friday the 13th films, ranked in the order I would put them in. By all means, let me know your opinions. Don't beat me up too much for Jason Takes Manhattan. And until next time, I will see you. Bye-bye.